What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Boss Podcast. I'm your boy, Richie Hustles, where we talk about business and making money outside of a 9-to-5 and just kind of like everyday hustle. Today, my guest is none other than KEIZT. What's up, brother?
What's going on, partner?
Man, how you doing?
Mighty fine.
Thank you for joining me on the show today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no problem, man. We met in Miami.
Yes, yeah, at the Miami Seller Conference for Amazon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We were talking with another gentleman. I can't remember the other gentleman's name that you were with. I think he did like real estate or whatnot.
Yes, my boy BJ. Yeah,
Okay.
He's heavy in the real estate, the crypto world. We swim in that, and we just slipped and fell into the e-commerce space.
Nice. And you were at the conference because you sell on Amazon.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me about that, man, because you know I sell on Amazon. We were all there hanging out. I kind of went there unannounced, but I talked to Romer and all those guys ahead of time and hung out there. And I met a lot of great people such as yourself. But like, give me some backstory on what made you want to start selling on Amazon.
All right. So for me, I'm heavy in like the real estate space where I'm purchasing homes. I rehab just a light bit, put them on Section 8, and I just rinse and repeat that over and over again. I got into the Shopify space back in about 2016 with a couple of good buddies of mine, and we're doing good on that in the whole drop shipping space. A couple of the boys I was working with got into the Amazon, and I've been like, I don't want to get into it because it looks like a lot of red tape. And on Shopify, you can do whatever you please. You can go on the AliExpress. You can buy something for $15, flip it for $40. Nobody can say a thing to you. So seeing the success of past success for a lot of my friends and whatnot, I finally became baptized in the Amazon water. And it's
sometimes it's dirty water. Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's dirty water, the Amazon water.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it's garbage water.
Sure is.
Yeah, man. But I've been very well since, man. Been doing good. And been networking in a couple different groups, and that's how I came across you, and here I am.
Yeah, I mean, you said the Shopify space. The Shopify space always kind of like interested me because I tried running a Shopify. So like one of my dreams growing up as like a little kid to like my DJ days, I used to be a past DJ. We were just talking, me and Christian earlier, but I always said I wanted to have a t-shirt line. I think like anybody in the club scene or entertainment scene, I'm going to run a t-shirt line, all this stuff. And I made some pretty cool designs. A lot of people liked them. I set up a Shopify store, but I didn't know if I wasn't running ads, right? So I wasn't running like the click stuff and all that stuff. I was just kind of like word to mouth. It was like old school promoting. I made cards and stuff. How did you feel about like Shopify? I'm interested in that because I didn't have any luck with Shopify.
Shopify is one of the easiest ways to make money on the e-commerce space. One of the easiest. It's a lot of hard work on the initial front end, but once you have your system in place, you're pretty much good. Because there's not a lot of upfront costs that you have to spend, like opening up a full-blown restaurant or something like that.
Okay.
So going into like the POD space, the print-on-demand space in the Shopify world, where you can go on Printify, Printful.
Printful, that's who I was using, Printful.
Yes, any of those, come up with any design that you want. You can go on Vec Easy, and it's pretty much you just make it yourself with nobody saying what. What I say is a lot of the secret space, a lot of people go into like the Facebook, the Instagram, but the real sauce on Shopify is Reddit.
Really?
Reddit.
And that's the one thing I don't use often is Reddit, maybe because I don't know how to use it to my advantage, I guess.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. The Boss Podcast is sponsored by Amazon Lit. If you're looking to start an Amazon business or you'd like information on how to start an Amazon business, or maybe you already have an Amazon business and you're looking for guidance, knowledge, or education, you definitely want to check out the guys over at Amazon Lit. I got a link in the description. You can check it out and go ask them whatever you like. There's no obligation, but you can at least ask them and get some knowledge and education. If you've always wanted to start a business, now's the time to do it. There's no better time than now. Amazon Lit, appreciate you guys. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast. And now back to the show.
Reddit without even running ads. You go in whatever little genre you're in, drop your store, drop whatever URL of what you're trying to sell.
Okay.
Get some upvotes, and it's just free advertisement.
Really?
Yes. Reddit is liquid cash.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, especially for gear like this. Yeah, Reddit is doing well. For female space is going into Pinterest, but
Pinterest. I know. Is it? I know Reddit is like blog style right? Like a lot of
Yes.
threads, a lot of
Yeah.
blog style. I downloaded the app, believe it or not, just a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I've always heard people saying, oh, it's on Reddit, the Reddit thread, this, that, Reddit. So I opened up the Reddit thread and I felt instantly overwhelmed where I was like, I feel like I have to take a course on this. It's just a lot of writing and I don't know where to look. I'm like, well, what do I do first?
I mean, literally, like whatever niche that you're in, like sub niches or whatever funky thing that you're in, Reddit has it.
You can find it.
You can find it. Whether you're into working out, whether you're eating penne pasta, whatever you want to think of, you can find it on Reddit. So,
what were you selling on Shopify for the most part?
I don't sit there and try to reinvent the wheel. I was looking for people, what they make, who are the top players, and one of the big players was in the EDM space, iedm.com. And I was just pretty much just copying what they do, go on their website. I just take a little bit of the stuff that they do and just alter it my way. And I would go into the EDM space on Reddit, drop my clothing on that and just let it do its thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. You know, I might have to spark up getting like some t-shirts, right? Because I had some designs. I still have them on my computer.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'll drop a little nugget here. I am going to be starting a t-shirt and mostly t-shirts, but it's going to be called Money Bag.
Yes.
And it's just it's taken a little bit from Psycho Bunny. Psycho Bunny has their like bunny rabbit. Mine's just going to be a little money bag outline. I've already got designs and I've already got some copywritten stuff going on for the design and all that stuff. So that way nobody can take us. I don't mind talking about it here.
Yeah.
But I've already thought about kind of introducing that soon, just because of the whole YouTube space and the whole platform.
Just follow folks.
I've just always wanted to do it, man. I just always wanted to do it. So now you've set up. You still on Shopify?
Yeah,
So you still on Shopify.
I'm still on Shopify, but right now my heart is in Amazon. It's way easier to make money.
So here's the question that I'm going to ask up front.
Yes.
What are you selling on Amazon?
Everything.
Everything.
That you go into any retail space, whether you walk into TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Walmart, you see these type of items every day, from toothbrushes, toothpaste. I even was selling tampons at one point.
Yes, I've sold tampons before.
Yeah,
I've sold tampons before.
My girl's like, "Who are you buying these tampons for, man? Who is she?"
Yeah,
you know, I'm
exactly.
like, "No, baby, it ain't." It's
Who needs that heavy flow?
Yeah.
Who needs that heavy flow? Shit, my shit light. You got heavy flow.
Yeah. So when I tell folks, I'm like, I literally sell anything. If I scan it and I see it's profitable, I'm moving it.
Now, what's your go-to? Because I know that like when I went into TJ Maxx and Marshalls, I would be looking for beauty, which would be like my number one. Beauty and TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods.
Yes.
Besides Ray Dunn. I started selling Ray Dunn, but that was like eBay days, Macari days.
Yes.
But like Walmart, it was mostly like focused on toys and electronics. Target was mostly electronics and toys. Sometimes appliances in Target if they had a good enough sale.
Yes.
What is like one of your go-to in a lot of these stores when you're selling? And like, because a lot of people think they're like, yeah, okay, you go into Amazon, okay, oh yeah, you buy this, but like, what do you like? How would you explain to somebody like, this is what I'm looking for and this is why I'm looking for it?
Me personally, for me, I'm mostly into socks.
Okay.
Socks when it comes to TJ Maxx and Marshalls and all of that. And also like home goods, because the majority of money that's spent online is from women. So whatever you're trying to sell, try to find a woman in mind. What do they say? 80% of the credit card debt is held by women also. So that's what I go for home goods, and that's pretty much what I like. Yeah,
I love the beauty items, the red tag, yellow tag sales. Oh my God. Sometimes, are you ungated in Nike and Adidas and those brands?
It's funny thing, I'm ungated on every shoe brand but Nike.
Really?
Yes.
We're going to get you ungated in those.
Right now it's red.
That's right,
yes.
because they had just
red.
done that. That's right.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
shit.
yeah. I mean,
so that means nobody can really get ungated in it now then.
As of last week, or maybe a couple of days ago, there was some whispers about that. Now that they have let it open for a couple of folks, but now they're doing a video like verification.
Right.
Right. I haven't dipped into it right now, and honestly, I'm good without Nike. Most of the success you see, folks, I'm making 40, 60, 30K a month, and the majority of stuff is Nike. If something ever happens, a black swan event, then what?
I'm so glad you said that too, because when I first started, it took me forever to get ungated in Nike.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I thought it was going to be the holy grail once I found out how to get ungated in Nike, right? As soon as the day I got ungated in Nike, I took my ass to TJ Maxx and Marshalls, started looking for the t-shirts, the socks, the hats, all that stuff, right? And they sold, no problem, right? But as I did it and as I progressed, as I was buying other things, I realized I mean, Nike's great.
Yes.
But it doesn't make or break my business. It's great to have.
Yes.
It's an option.
Yes.
Right? I feel like any brand that you're ungated in is just another option to make money. You know what I mean? But, I used to tell people just because you sell or you can't sell Nike doesn't mean you're not going to have a successful business.
Absolutely. I mean, you could even take it a step further. Even into Nike and Jordans or whatnot. Yep. That's where you find a lot of folks who would claim that your stuff is counterfeit, that you're getting Section 3'd on stuff where they want to re-verify that what you're getting is correct. Because the Nike culture of people actually buying Nike shoes is a whole different beast of people buying.
Totally different beast, man. Like outlet, all that shit.
It's a whole different beast of Under Armour and Adidas. When people buying Nike, especially for the shoes and Jordans, they want the box. It's a full experience. So if there's anything wrong in any way, shape, and form, you're going to get issues.
Which is crazy because Amazon says that when you're selling shoes, you can sell shoes without the original box.
Yeah.
You can rebox them, you could polybag them, but just because you could do it doesn't mean you should do it. Because if you and I ordered a pair of Nikes, we're throwing down $250, $300 on a pair of Jordans we saw maybe that are in stock, or some kind of limited sneaker, right? And we're like, all right, $300, and you get it in a polybag, new or not, that shit's going back.
Yes,
I want you said it. I want the experience.
Yes, and especially if I'm buying as a gift for somebody.
100%.
A good buddy of mine, or a graduation gift for a nephew, and then he gets it in a poly bag. How embarrassed would I be? Mm-hmm. So it's a double-edged sword.
And listen, when I moved here in Florida, when I started going to like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, they had like the sneakers and stuff in boxes, but they had no box tops on them, or they had no boxes at all. In every single store I go to in Florida, I have yet to walk, and I've been in. I mean, I was looking for like icy machines last year. I traveled from. I was here. I went to Miami. I went to Naples, all the way up to Tampa, across to Orlando, to Daytona, back down, all over the state. Going to every single Marshalls. I had a map. I had a list. I addressed out every single store.
Yes.
And I said, I'm going to go to this one next, this one next. It was like a 3 or 4 day trek for me to do all of it.
Yes.
But in those stores, I didn't just look for ices. I was looking for shoes too, because I would crush it with Nike cleats. I would crush it with Adidas sneakers, all this stuff. Every single store does not have a box top or is missing the box totally. Now, I'm not used to that because in Massachusetts, where I used to live, all the Marshalls and TJ Maxx, for the most part, like 95% of them, all had the box top underneath the box.
Yes.
So I was cartloads, you know what I mean? Cartloads, full card gang, like the hat says, you know what I mean? We're full card gang, man. All the time. But here, man, how do you find so you're gated in Nike, but you said you could sell Adidas.
I could sell. I'm gated. The funny thing is, I'm ungated in Jordans, which I do Jordans, but I'm very, very selective on what Jordans I do sell, because anything funky on Jordans, people are going to complain, leave crazy reviews, and you can. I mean, if enough
even
complaints
a hairline,
happen, a hairline off. So like,
this isn't new. This has a little tiny millimeter hairline scratch that I have no idea where it came from.
And they want the box flawless too. The box has to be beautiful also. So for me, I'm ungated on every shoe brand mostly. Besides that, but my main thing is mostly like groceries. Groceries is what I pretty much stick on. I do a bit of wholesale on that end. Okay. But as far as like apparel and whatnot, Adidas, I'm okay with Adidas. I'm okay with Under Armour. Brooks is amazing. You know,
Brooks Brothers.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, those are good shoes.
Yeah.
Very. And
what's the other brand? It's a nice dress shoe that you find in TJ Maxx. They never have a lot of them. It's usually in a black or brown shoe, nice leather shoe, dress shoe. Sometimes they have like a lace-up dress shoe that's more casual. I can't remember the name of them. It's not Brooks. It's something else. But they would
Aldo?
No. These would like sell, you could get them for about $40-$50.
Han. I think it's Hann.
Cole Haan maybe?
Cole Haan, yes.
I think it's Cole Haan, but there was another brand. I have to think of it. They were selling for $150 to $200 from a $40 to $50 price point. I know Cole Haan ain't going that high.
Nah.
You know, Cole Haan maybe $100, $120 for a nice high-end shoe, Cole Haan. Yeah, I can't think of it. Anyways, the point I was trying to say was, I don't know the fucking point I was trying to say. I don't know the point I was trying to say. But you were talking about Adidas and shoes, and I had mentioned that brand because, you know, in these discount stores, you're going to find a shit ton of profit if you keep your eyes open.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not even just that. It's selective on the shoe size. Because they will discount the shoes, but you will also see where size 13, size 14, size 15, which are like, you know, crazy, you know, shoe size for most guys out there. But they would put them dead inside there for you.
You know what they say about big shoes, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Big socks.
Oh, yes.
What were you thinking?
Oh, no, man.
Big socks, man. Big socks.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, man.
So what would you recommend to somebody? So somebody's just starting out on Amazon.
Yes.
Right? They see people like me, you, others going into these stores, showing all the good times, being like, oh my God, man, they're just getting all this stuff all the time. They're showing what they're making, their profit, they're shipping 200 items, 500 items, 100 items. What would you say to somebody just start? Like, how should somebody just start their Amazon business or their Amazon journey?
And I'm gonna keep it 100 for you, man. What you need on Amazon, if you're just starting out, is you need the holy trinity of the three. And I'll tell you this to anyone that I come across. Costco, BJ's, Sam's Club. You get those three, there's no way you're making less than $5K a month in profit with those three. And then also you add on to networking because you can't do it by yourself.
Nope.
This is a team sport. This is a big time team sport. The people who fail at this game is people who try to do it on their own and try to gatekeep all the information to themselves.
Yeah, and I will say this though, because I've always been a proponent of like not doing it yourself, because I believe you should network, or else I wouldn't even show up to these events. You do need people in your phone that you can text, that you can talk to, that you can trade ideas with, ask advice, right?
Yes.
But just be careful who's in your circle, because you could have a ton of people, but if you have the wrong people, what's the point?
Exactly.
You found that those three discount clubs are like compared to like going to TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Walmart, like all that stuff, right?
It's liquid cash because it's seriously is wholesale. It's wholesale on an RA level, you know. And the thing is though is that you automatically have an advantage with it being geographically like located around you, where a Costco near you in maybe Nebraska or Idaho is much cheaper than Florida. So I can't get it at the same exact price that you can get it. But if you're willing to hustle and grind for it, you can dominate the whole listing. So
I used to go into BJ's a lot. BJ's was my number one. I did Costco a couple times, and in Sam's Club for some reason, and I know it's run by Walmart, I had the least amount of luck in Sam's Club, which I feel like Sam's Club should be number one if we're talking about who's running Sam's Club. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel, and maybe it's just me not looking for the right items, because I didn't spend too much time at Sam's Club, but I used to belong to all three. But BJ's, I always found like they had this. It was like what do you call that stuff? Like in a dishwasher, you put the soap, but then you put it's like rinse aid.
yes,
They had the Cascade rinse aid.
Yes.
It was like this, I don't know, 16-ounce bottle, 12 or 16-ounce bottle. It was being discontinued. And you can tell in these stores,
Yes.
little tidbit, I won't give it away, but there is a way to tell. You can Google it. You can look at other YouTube videos. There's a way to tell when an item is on clearance, when it's discounted on sale, and when it's discontinued. So I noticed that on this tag, it was discontinued.
Yes.
Or was being discontinued.
Yeah.
I went to every BJ's and I grabbed them. They were being marked down. I think they were $5.99. They were being marked down to $3.50, and in some stores were like $2.25.
Yes.
So I went to like as many beaches as I could to South Florida and all that stuff, just packing these, shipping them in.
Yes.
And they were selling $17, $22. They were flying.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, who is like in danger of like, just like, you know what I mean? Like, who's telling themselves, oh my God, we're not going to survive if we don't get this Cascade, rinse aid. You know what I mean? We have to get this, get the toilet paper. You know what I mean? Like, it was just crazy. And the profit was at least $6 to $8, depending on what my cost was each one, FBA, after shipping costs and all that stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it was just insane. I mean, what do you when you find a good deal like that, are you traveling to every single store and like wiping it out?
Oh.
Or you say to yourself, all right, look, I know this is good. I'm going to set a budget of like $2K, right? And I'm going to spend $2K on this item. I know some people that they won't clear out the whole thing everywhere. They cap themselves. They're like, I'm only going to spend $2,000 here, $1,500 here, $500 here. Yeah. What's your process like?
My thing is, I start off with a budget and whatnot, but certain brands, especially when it comes to discount and stuff, certain brands I will clear out the whole state for it. Especially for like Neutrogena and stuff like that, I will clear out the state for it, and I've done that before. I never found
Neutrogena like on clearance or anything on sale. I've
big time on BJ's. There's one certain. I'm not going to say the exact item, but there's one sitting right now in Costco that me and the boys are just waiting for it to come on because it's discontinued.
Yeah,
it was already discontinued at BJ's. It sells for about $60 on Amazon, and you can get it for about $4 at BJ's. But we cleared out the state for it. We already took care of BJ's. There's no more you can find pretty much all on the East Coast. From New York down to Florida, we already done it.
Whew.
So
wait, so you traveled from New York to Florida?
No. I have a group. I have a group of boys that we source with and we hunt together with.
Nice.
So my boys him is, hey, listen, I found this down and right by you. Drop what you're doing, go pick it up. Because he can't get it. It's not going to hurt him.
That's the power of networking right there.
Yeah. So when I find something that if it's around him and it's not going to hurt me, go ahead, take it.
Man, a buddy of mine lives in Alabama, and we had found these Fit Crunch bars.
Yes.
In Walmart. We were cleaning out every single Walmart of cookie dough, and I think one was caramel. It was like an orange wrapper. The black and brown wrapper, which was the cookie dough one, and then so the orange wrapper, the black and brown wrapper, and then there was another wrapper. I don't think the yellow one never really sold at a premium. Peanut butter was the purple and beige one.
Yes.
So the peanut butter, those three flavors, we were buying them for $4 and $5 a piece from Walmart. Walmart.com would shut us down because we couldn't get any more delivered to us, and we were selling. It was on Amazon for like a 5-pack.
Yes.
So we would take 5 bars, send them. There's your 5-pack.
Yes.
Not one return, maybe, right? Mm-hmm. But they were selling the 5-packs were costing us less than $25, and we were selling $55, almost $60.
Yes.
We were just cranking that. Yes. The reason why I tell you that story is because we also experimented with where he lives in Alabama, right above Florida.
Yes.
We were doing merchant fulfilled. So we weren't FBA in this because it was chocolate. You couldn't send meltables in, all that good stuff. I'm in the southernmost part. I mean, almost to Miami. It's the southernmost part of this area.
Yes.
And we were on the same listing, and we knew we were on the same listing, and we would lock the prices because we knew that we knew who each other was.
Yes.
And he was getting like 85% of all the sales at the same price that I was.
Yes.
I'm using a repricer. And I told him, I'm going to put my repricer on because he doesn't have a repricer.
Yes.
I said, I'm going to put my repricer on and I'm going to just see. I'm only going to mark it down my minimum 10 cents less than what we're doing. Mm-hmm. I want to see if I can get a sale.
Yes.
He was still getting sales. Now I'm talking, we sold like hundreds of packs. Okay. So finally I said, I'm going to lower it $1. See if I can get a sale from you. Because he's crushing it. We're texting each other. He's like, yo, I sold 7 packs so far. Yes. I'm like, I sold 1. Right? Come to find out. And I'm not sure of this, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with geographical location. He said, what is your shipping on? I said, my shipping's on 2-day process, the lowest it can be.
Yes.
You buy it, I'm going to pack it and ship it. He goes, yeah, that's what mine's on. I said, but it takes 1 full day just to get out of Florida.
Yes.
So it goes from here to Jacksonville. That's 1 day. Mm-hmm. Day 2, it goes from Jacksonville to whatever the next stop is, usually out of Florida at that point. But he's shipping from Alabama. he's already got a day ahead of me, no matter what.
Yeah.
So his shipping is being prioritized by Amazon.
Yes.
And he kept getting the buy box, merchant fulfilled. So finally, I had to drop mine almost $5 in order to overtake his spot in the buy box. Now, once I sold, and 2-pack sold like this, I said, all right, well, I don't want to sell it at a $5 discount.
Yeah.
I was like, you sell all yours, and then I'll sell all mine.
Yes.
But I'm like, I thought that shit was crazy, man, because I'm like, this is so crazy because we're both the same price. But Amazon's prioritizing a quicker shipping. They're saying that he had a day quicker. And I'm like, how? But because it takes me a full day to get out of Florida.
Yeah.
Do you sell a lot of things merchant fulfilled?
Currently, right now, no. Right now, I'm pretty much 100% FBA. But when I was back in the Q4 of last year, and I'm going to go again in Q4 this year, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and do the same thing and ship it out myself. 0-day handling time is how you can get a big advantage of people that's like living in Alabama and whatnot. And the sauce really for 0-day is you actually, and this is, you didn't hear this from me, this is from somebody who said something to me. You don't actually have to send it out the same day on 0-day handling time. You just have to print out the shipping label. The same day.
So that's a trick I do for 2-day with my lazy ass.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm like, yo, all right, I can't ship it today. You know what I mean? Boom, I have to ship it on day 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly right. Have you ever gotten dinged, or has Amazon ever said, has a customer ever said, hey, it was supposed to arrive by this time?
Never.
It's always arrived on time.
Yeah. Because generally for me, like the majority, 9 times out of 10, I am actually sending it out 0-day. But if there's something that happens, then I'll
Especially
send it out.
in Q4.
Yeah,
You know what I
Q4
mean?
is just so much volume. There's practically there's no way that you can get to everything 100%. So if you can get out the first thing in the morning, go ahead and do it. Especially for someone who's looking for it for Christmas.
You know, speaking of Q4, a lot of people make a lot of their business on Q4, right?
Yes.
A lot of us do, right?
Yes.
We wait, we put a lot of times we don't send things in until it's close to Q4 because we
Yes.
want to sell a lot of crap. But what I've noticed is, like, ever since I moved down to Florida, man, Q4, even I guess not even just in Florida, because when I moved to Florida in 2021,
Yes.
but 2020 Q4 was trash. To me, 2019 was the last good Q4. Now, I didn't even bother last Q4, so I have no idea how last Q4 was at all, because I kind of, whatever. I think this Q4, because I finally, starting earlier this year, I've seen like Walmart really heavily discounting their things. I see a lot of buddies of mine getting that clearance again. Like, do you know Buffalo Picker?
No.
Dude's awesome. Shout out to Buffalo Picker out in Georgia. This dude's awesome. Military man. Thank you for your service. I tried to get him on the show too. I'm like, listen, you only live in Georgia. I was like, I'll send you the plane ticket. Come down and record an episode. I love Buffalo Picker, man. Great guy. But he has like negotiations with like certain Walmart managers.
Yes.
Like, he's pulling out pallets out of Walmart. Like, he's got such a good relationship with these people that he's driving to the back of multiple Walmarts with his truck.
Yes.
And having pallets of toys that he's buying at like 90% off, just because because he's, I don't know, he's awesome dude, man.
Yes.
Like, if I'll show you his YouTube channel offline, but if you watch his show, he's just a really great guy, and it shows because he gets those connections, and for such a steep price. Have you ever sourced Ollie's?
Yes.
Love Ollie's, dude.
Yeah, I'm big time on Ollie's.
What are you getting at Ollie's? It's mostly like health and beauty?
Mostly beauty products.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely,
you
man,
know it,
absolutely.
man.
They're like the shampoos and soaps, and
Yes.
there was like an Irish Spring thing that I cleaned out a lot of those. Yeah, that Ollie's. I haven't been to Ollie's in probably over a year though.
Yeah. I mean, Ollie's is very good also, but not everyone has Ollie's next to them. You know, it's very selective on
Very
selective. So,
very selective.
So if you blessed to have one next to you, man, you're definitely going to make some killer gains.
You know, I used to have a house in Bellingham, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So, and I used to live in northern part of Bellingham. And Bellingham, if you look at it on a map, it's a very long rectangle. It's a very long. It takes you like 40 minutes just to go from north to south with no traffic. It's just a long rectangle. And on the bottom of the rectangle is Rhode Island. So it borders Rhode Island.
Yes.
A town called Woonsocket, right? And in Woonsocket, there's an Ollie's. But I never knew there was an Ollie's there. I used to tell myself, there's no Ollie's here. I'd see people online. I ain't got no Ollie's.
Yes.
Right? My dumb ass never thought to myself, let me do a quick little search to see if there's any Ollie's around me. I've just never heard of the place.
Yes.
So the whole 3 years that I was reselling while I was in Massachusetts, I had an Ollie's like 30 minutes from me. I just never went. And it was a huge ass Ollie's too.
Yes.
Huge Ollie's. I actually developed a good relationship with one of the higher ups at Ollie's, where I made I was making a couple of Ollie's videos showing like going in, getting deals, and they loved my video. They were like, "Oh, we're really glad you love shopping at Ollie's." He sent me an email. Yes. I can't remember his name, but he said, "Listen, as a token of our appreciation, we just want to say thank you." And they sent me a $100 gift card to Ollie's. I was like, "Hell yeah!" I kept that letter and those higher ups, and we haven't stayed in touch, but he's like, anytime you want to email me for anything, if you have any issues, let me know. In his position was like he was like the chief, I don't know if it was the chief financial officer of all Ollie's or whatever, but it was pretty executive, man. I mean, he hooked me up, and man, shout out to him. I can't remember your name, but you're in my email still. But Ollie's is a great company. I have nothing bad to say about books. I like books at Ollie's too.
Yes.
Comics at Ollie's, sometimes those comics, they're worth a lot, especially like the collectors, like the Batman ones, the graphic novels you get for $5.99. Yeah. They're selling for $30-$40.
Oh man, yeah. Me, I'm not big in books, and I initially started off just to get my feet wet to see how it is. You go to Goodwill
I still go to Goodwill.
Yeah,
I got a second Amazon account, which is all books.
Yes,
I love books.
Yes,
I do. It's a pain in the ass. It's heavy. It hurts your back. It's dirty, it's nasty, it's dusty, but man, the profit is this. I feel like there's no product on the planet that you can consecutively get that can yield you, like, you're buying books for $1.
Yes.
Maybe $2.
Yes.
But man, books.
Especially textbooks.
Textbooks, yeah. But I like textbooks, but I don't like Roma the Roamer. You know Roma the Roamer, right? He threw the MSc.
Yes.
He threw it with Taylor Jones, and Romer would go to colleges and go into those stores and buy the used textbooks from there, right?
Yes.
But I won't do that just because he shared, and this is public information, so I'm not throwing him under the bus, but he had his account suspended for counterfeit. Somebody was saying he had counterfeit book, and it actually was counterfeit, but he didn't know it was counterfeit.
Oh, dang.
So, and turned out it was like one of those like used textbooks that he was selling. And I'm like, the more common ones, like the APs that you see in the Goodwills and shit like that. Those are more, they go for $20, $30, $40. Yeah. But those used books that are like $200, $300, $400 used, I feel like they're put under such scrutiny that people got their eye on those. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If I'm selling you a $400 used textbook, you might be the company that's trying to see, are you like doing fraudulent shit? Like what you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of stay away from textbooks, not solely, but just kind of like I pick and choose.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think books definitely are like very, very niche, and to prevent anything like that happening, you really got to know like your business. I forgot the cat's name when we were at the conference, but he was pulling over $600K just selling textbooks, and his whole thing is he lives in the Boston area. He's a New York native, but he moved all the way to Boston because he was saying that the more colleges that you're around, the more your profits.
So that's where I was from, Boston.
Yeah, yes.
That's from originally Boston.
Yes.
And the book sales.
Yeah.
I mean, I got pictures where I would take 25 to 30 paper bag from these libraries, wheeling them out on carts and shit, right? And and it cost me maybe $90.
Yes.
I was averaging 10 to 30 cents a book. So you sell a book used for $1, you're still making profit because you're sending in 3, 4, 5, maybe 700 books. Your shipping is maybe 20 cents a book.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or maybe even if it was 50 cents a book, you're still making 50 cents to $1 per book as long as you're doing it right or whatever. But I love books. I actually thought about flying back to Massachusetts, spending over the weekend on some of the good book sales that I know.
Yes.
Going from like Friday to Sunday, because usually the early birds get in access on Friday. You have Saturday for the general public, and then Sunday, sometimes Saturday is a bag sale. Sunday's usually a bag sale because it's like the last. They want to get rid of as much as they can. Yes. And I'm like, I should go back, fly Spirit, put like a couple of like $60 ticket, just a cheap ticket to get over there.
Yes.
Get a backpack, 2 days worth of clothes. Right? That way I just have my carry-on, boom, I go, I like bang out all the books, ship it, everything in the hotel room, boom, fly back. The cost for me was maybe $120, with some cheap food, maybe we'll just say $200.
Yes.
Plus the cost of the books. I invested $200 to $300 for all these books that I'm gonna get.
Yes.
I'm telling you, man, you might see me vlogging out of Boston, man, just kind of like visiting. I love books that much.
Yes.
I just think it's such a good, profitable. It just sucks because it's so heavy.
Yeah, I think maybe even right around this time after graduation might be the best time to even do it. You might have to, when we get out of here, I might get on the Spirit right now.
Where's my app? Let me see how much the tickets are. Man, I've seen tickets at like $50, man. I'm like, man, there's got to be a catch, right? Like you fly in Spirit, get ready for the show.
Yes.
Get ready for the show, man. If you look at the internet, man, every incident is with Spirit.
Yes.
Every incident is with Spirit, man. So you get your popcorn out.
Definitely, man.
What tools are you using when you're sourcing Amazon? Because that's one of the most frequent questions I get. A lot of people are like, okay, you sell on Amazon, but like, how do you know what to buy? Like, what are you using for tools, and why do you use them?
If you're doing retail arbitrage, as far as if you're in the stores and whatnot, SellerAmp is a very, very good tool and whatnot. But I do say this as a caveat: SellerAmp does kind of block you from actually finding really, really good niche stuff. You have to also use the Amazon app itself to find really good bundles where you actually physically type in it, because it's only using actually the UPC. You know, so if the UPC doesn't even pop up, you completely just missed out on something that can really put some gains in your pockets. So the actual, like, the native Amazon app combined with Keepa and Amazon is a nice trifecta of everything. And you add a little razzle dazzle of networking with friends, there you go.
Yeah, I use the three tools I use. I use the Amazon Seller app first when I scan items.
Yes.
And then after I use the Seller app, I use SellerAmp. I scan it.
Yes.
This isn't for every product. This is just if I'm looking to take 20, 30, 50, and I really want to dot my I's and cross my T's.
Yes.
I will scan it again with SellerAmp, and I want to look at the BSR. I want to look at the quantities that sellers that have it at that price.
Yes.
I want to look at variations if there are any. That's what I use SellerAmp for. I don't use it for Keepa because it's a very limited look. Keepa is it's like a snapshot, you know? Then I use the actual Keepa.
Yes.
And then I dive in there, how many drops, and I see and I compare it to SellerAmp, and a lot of times it doesn't match up. I'm not sure where the disconnect is with the data. But if it's relatively close, I'll feel more comfortable with it.
Yes.
And then I'll be like, all right, cool. All right, let's pull this item because it's if I'm scanning it with the Amazon Seller app and it's ranked 17, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I don't need to look.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Anything under 100. Honestly, anything under 1,000 depends. I guess that depends too, because CDs and DVDs can be like grocery. Grocery, you might scan something and see something's 32,000, but that's a shit rank for grocery.
Yes.
Like I try to look for things under 10,000 in grocery.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is really based on category. So for groceries, it's very, very good for SellerAmp. As far as stuff like apparel, Keepa. Because the variations itself, you need to get real data on it.
Right.
So like you can really clip yourself on some shoes, on some shirts that have 16 different colors. You don't know which one is moving. You know? So it's like if you're going,
like the red could be moving, 1,200 units, but you're looking at the black one and the black one only moves 12.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you bought 50 black shirts and you're like, why aren't they selling? It says 1,500 sales.
Yeah.
But, because you didn't buy the red ones.
Yes. And once you sent that off to FBA, and then you realize that once you send it off, like, oh my God, I really messed up myself.
Man, I got to ask, how do you feel about the placement fees that are happening with Amazon? Because that's the newest bullshit that Amazon's doing, man.
I think, honestly, it looks like it's just a way for them to make more money, of course, to line their pockets. But there's ways around the whole thing with the placement fees. If you're doing 10 boxes of the same ASIN, or if you're doing the majority of your stuff of the same exact ASIN, you can get rid of the majority of those fees or clear it out completely. But if you're mixing and matching Kirkland
like
with
books,
with Nike, with books
have a different SKU.
Yeah,
Each book.
I mean, you're asking for it.
I just sent in 312 books.
Yes.
And I thought for sure, out of the 8 boxes that they were in, surely I'm not going to get a placement fee because I'm sending enough. I'm over 300 units. Nope. They hit me with a $59 placement fee.
Yes. Yeah. That's a lot of work for them if you really think about it, man. That's tons of work, tons of labor for them to actually do.
I call bullshit on that. I disagree. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because I label my own products.
Yes.
If you label your own products, all they're doing is unpacking and they got to scan it anyways. So in my opinion, if you're labeling your own products, I feel like you shouldn't have to do a placement fee. Now, if you need Amazon to label it because they don't want to take your barcode, well, Amazon doesn't know where that book's going to end up because you're not putting an FNSKU on it. You're trying to use the manufacturer's barcode. But I'm like, everything in the box, they're going to have to take it out. Even if it says, no, you can use the manufacturer's, I use my own label on everything now.
Yes.
And that's only because Amazon,
they'll lose your stuff.
It's not even that. Like, yes, they will lose your stuff, but besides that, I've sent in figures, action figures, collectible figures, right? And I want them to label it. Yes. Don't you know these motherfuckers, yo? They put the FSU on the front of the thing, leaving the barcode on the back exposed. And guess what that product ends up? Stranded inventory. Yes. Because it can't be read. Because somebody decided to put it on the front of the toy and not cover the barcode. So now I bought a zebra printer. I used to use Dymo all the time, but my small label Dymo. I like Dymo. Dymo gets a lot of shit. Dymo gets a lot of crap about not working and jamming and all this other stuff. Right hand to God, I've never had a single issue with my Dymo printer. Never. Maybe one small time, but never ever in 6 years. But I will tell you this. Only use Dymo for 4x6 labels. Do not use a Dymo printer for FN SKUs because the Dymo printer does not print a fine enough line. And I've spent hundreds of dollars trying to correct the issue. Dymo, when it's printing small print like that, it's still unscannable. And all your inventory will end up in stranded. Do not use a Dymo for products. Only use it for shipping labels. So that's what I do now. Yes. I just use it for my 4x6. It's great. I love my Dymo. But Zebra, nice, crisp, fine, black thermal print. Yes. Like it's crisp. Yes. No issues at all. Yes. With my product. FN SKUs now, man. I can't believe the amount of time, money, and effort wasted using the small Dymo. And I would look at it and I'm like, this shit kind of looks a little off. It almost looks like a counterfeit label because, counterfeits, they ain't got the straight lines, right? It's not crisp. It's just like a photocopy with a bubble jet. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck they doing? But the Zebra printer, go with the Zebra if you're going to do product SKUs. But yeah, the placement fees, I know with books because they want, if I had 500 copies of one book, then they're telling me, no, you don't have to split it. Yes. You could just send it in because it's one product. It's just multiple. Yes. But when you send 310 different products in their eyes, in this case, books, they want you to split it up. Most of that shit ends up in only another warehouse or two. I got to pay $60 for you to truck that to another.
They got to line their pockets, partner.
That's crazy,
It's a publicly traded company. They got to find a way to make sure that their shareholders are making profits.
That's so wild. So. It's just, I guess it's another way that sellers kind of feel like Amazon doesn't have their back in a way, like with all sellers make up how much of
I think it's 60%.
Is it 60%?
60% right now. Yeah.
Imagine if third-party sellers just went away.
It's 60% and 50% of them are Chinese sellers.
Really? 50% of that 60%
is Chinese sellers.
Now, is that why they came with that business thing where they were like saying re-verification? Yeah. Because they wanted to weed out all the bullshit.
And a lot of the counterfeit stuff, I'm just saying, it's not coming from Americans.
Right. That's coming from overseas. It's coming from Alibaba.
Yeah, I don't know who it's from. But
no, it's from. I'll tell you right now, it's from Alibaba.
It ain't coming from Americans.
I'll tell you right now, with my experience, man. I tried selling the Arctic Airs.
Yes.
This product haunts me to my life, and I still can't get past it. It's still in my storage unit, bro. I ordered a shit ton of them.
Yes.
The picture was great online.
Yes.
Just like the product, and I've said this on another podcast. And I messaged these people. I'm like, yo, is your product exactly how it's pictured? I have the saved chat.
Yes.
Yes, it's exactly what you see on the pictures is exactly what you're going to get. Great. I don't have to do a test buy.
Yes.
I didn't do a test buy.
Yes.
And I ordered 50 units at $12 each. It's the shipping that croaks you when it's coming from Alibaba. Don't you know when I got this box in, first of all, it's all taped up. Like you got like kilos of like cocaine in this thing, okay? Mm-hmm. I open up this box with all the tape, right? Yes. I open the box. Bro, I got to show you the picture after. I to this day, all you saw was Arctic, ARCTIC. Is that how you spell Arctic?
Amazon spelling bee over
Arctic,
here.
something like that? Okay. So Arctic was ARCTT. Like there was no I. It was like It was like T, and it's supposed to be IC, but it was TTC.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I looked at the next box, misspelled, and it like looked foggy, like they printed it. Yeah. The next box, I open it up and it looks like the product's in there, but it's not a genuine product. Now I look at the third, fourth, fifth. I took one. I threw it against the wall. I was like, I was flipping out. I was like, God damn. I said, the first time I ordered and I get counterfeit. And this was it. And by the way, this was a trusted Alibaba seller. They had the crown on it and everything. So don't believe that bullshit. Stay away from Alibaba unless you're doing some kind of private label where you're doing some custom work and you're ordering it from China. But if you're trying to like RA from China, don't, because you're just going to it's just, I was so pissed. I was like, I want a refund. I spent, almost $800 or whatever. They wouldn't give it to me. Oh, it's from a trusted seller. I sent them the pictures, the chat where he said it looked like everything, and the pictures in the chat that were different than the product. Yes. Nope. Bro, they just protecting their sellers. I'm like, man, imagine if Amazon protected their sellers the way Alibaba protects their sellers, and Alibaba's protecting the scammers over there that are doing bad work. Now, there's a lot of good sellers in Alibaba. Yeah. There's a lot of good sellers on there. I don't want to paint the picture that every seller on Alibaba sucks. But the first time was the last time for me. Unless I'm going to go get some private label spatulas or some shit, I ain't fucking ordering from them again.
I mean, the difference is with it being in America, capitalism is amazing. And for us, Amazon is pretty much, it's publicly traded. And Alibaba is pretty much the CCP. Let's just call it, say, spade a spade. Like, it's pretty much ran and controlled by the Chinese government. So, and they actually supplement a lot of their products. That's why they can get them so cheaper. And if you want to get into conspiracy and put on your tinfoil cap,
hey man, I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it.
If you want to look into the Uyghur population and what's going on over there, and they're pretty much doing slave labor, and you can look on Temu, why are those prices so cheap? You just follow
Temu.
it. Yeah,
people are obsessed with Temu.
Yes.
Obsessed with Temu. I've ordered a couple things from Temu, but like charging cords, little things. I've never ordered anything big.
Yes.
I don't think I've spent more than $10 on a single item, and I've only ordered a couple things from there. What do you think about So whatever happened to Wish? Because Wish was the modern day Temu. Wish was like, hey, screw you. Now Temu took Wish's place right?
I think Temu is going to have the same result as Wish, because the same thing that happened with Wish, they put so much money into advertisement. They bled themselves dry.
Do you see what they're paying the influencers on Temu? No. Stupid money. No. They're paying the influencers stupid money to promote the products on there. Like, 50%, 60% commissions.
Yes.
Which leads me to something else. Have you ever ordered from the TikTok shop?
Yes, I have.
Me too.
Yes.
And it's actually good product.
Yes.
I haven't had any issues with a TikTok shop. The reason why I asked that is because besides selling directly on Amazon, I do what's called the Amazon Influencer Program. So I do reviews on products and I get paid commissions depending on whatever, right?
Yes.
TikTok Shop has a similar program, but their commissions, like the highest commission right now on Amazon, I think is 4.5%. I think that's in like home and kitchen, gardening, and I think pet. Those are the highest paid commissions right now for those categories. It changes.
Yes.
But TikTok Shop, bro, they're offering like 60% commission off a $20 item. And there are these cats on there that are like literally making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month pushing this. The thing I want to know is if you're able to make 50, 60, I've even seen as high as 75% commission on a product. Who's making the money? How are they making money?
You got your tinfoil cap on?
It's on, ready?
All right, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that TikTok Shop and Temu are profitable, or even half as profitable as Amazon?
No.
Do you think that their main objective is profit?
No, their main objective is to capture the attention.
No, it's not attention. Capture our information. I feel as if, this is just me, I feel as if that side is mainly trying to infiltrate the U.S., get as much information as they want from the U.S. population, and manipulate as much as possible with us. Because they can't defeat us like military-wise.
Right. Because I'm like, it makes sense, because how you went from a social media platform to doing stupid dances to then being a regular social media platform with dances and other things, right? So now it's like I guess, quote unquote, traditional social media platform. But all of a sudden now bam, you're introducing products.
Yeah.
Because it is one of the top used social media. I mean, they sell a stupid amount compared to like Instagram, Facebook, other social media platforms, right? But they're paying out those top commissions. And you said something, and that makes total sense. Because if my main objective is to capture somebody's information, I don't care if I give you 70% because I'm paying for the information.
Yes.
I'm not paying to make a profit.
No. You're looking for just think about how
My
much money.
mind is blown right now.
Yeah.
After that one.
Right now, I mean, look, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them, they're selling user information out to who? To other different companies that's looking to advertise, right? To look and to actually manipulate and push out their products. How so? The CCP right now, this is just me with my tinfoil cap on. I think that with their population decreasing, they're not able to replicate. If you go back to the one-child policy, we all know they kind of screwed themselves on that. And
did they change that to two?
No, well, now it's okay, but
but for the longest time, it was just it's frowned upon almost.
Yeah, but right now they're pushing more into the women, pushing into the workforce heavy, and not pushing into family, and so they're not able to reproduce, and you need at least 2.1 to repopulate your population, and they're not. So the only way they can defeat us is how? Infiltrate our society, manipulate us as possible, give us depression and all these weird new.
Bro, you see some of this shit on there, bro.
Yeah.
It's probably I don't want to call it the realest social media app, but there's times where I'm like, why is that on here?
Yeah.
But then there's other times where I'm like, you won't see that anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's like truth with stuff that's being censored on other social media platforms. Like there's stuff on TikTok, no matter what side of the aisle on, left or right, there are some things on there that you just won't see. It'll be taken down on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like certain things. So I feel like, to me, TikTok is like a double-edged sword. It's on one hand, I think you're absolutely right. Now when I'm thinking about it, I think 100%. I think that's what's happening with that. But on the other side, it's like, are they actually giving us a freedom of speech platform compared to like an Instagram, Facebook? I mean, the only thing next to that is probably Twitter. You know what I mean? Post Elon, right? Not pre Elon, but post Elon.
Depends on what you say on TikTok. If you say anything that's against feminism or anything and that sort, your account will get shut down. Go on TikTok right now and say that you won't date single moms. Your account will get shut down.
If you won't date
single moms.
If I put a post that said, I'm not going to be dating single moms in this lifetime,
and this is why, and put it out, your account will get shut down. So yeah,
I'm gonna make a fake account just to try it.
Yeah,
like I have a bunch of emails. I'll set up another email. And
anything against how I think personally right now. I have friends that's on TikTok, and I've had my account shut down for pushing war. I think that there's a war on the family, war on a nuclear family, and this is what's happening. My account got shut down. So like my buddies that had the same situation. Anything that's on a narrative that's promoting nuclear family, they don't like that.
That's wild.
So.
That's wild, man. Have you ever thought about? Have you heard of the Amazon Influencer Program?
Yes.
Are you doing it?
I've opened an account. I haven't dropped anything yet because I don't have. I'm trying to allocate my time and everything right now.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this. As a seller,
yes,
we have access to so many products.
Yes,
so many products. I've figured out that if I'm gonna be buying these products to sell, I'm gonna take one of them and I'm gonna review that shit.
Yes.
And then if I can sell it used, I'll sell it used. Or if it's like a toy, or usually when I review toys, I review it and say that I'm a collector, so I keep everything kind of like sealed in the package. So I don't take like action figures out of the package.
Yes.
I really don't think it's necessary to kind of like do a review on it. Like, what are you gonna do a review? Oh, this is how it bends, and this is I don't know, whatever. It's mine is just like an overview, right? Of that kind of product. A lot of the other coffee makers, I show like how I use it and coffee and all this other stuff, whatever for the most part. But I'm telling you, man. You got to get into it. I'm telling you. Listen,
yes.
even if you do, right? Like I have 115 videos that I have to do reviews for. I think it's like 113 or something like that, right? Just sitting on my computer. Because before I pack up products, or if I get a product I want, if I don't have time to do the review right then and there, I'll do 1 to 2 minutes and I'll just film it. touching it as if I was talking in my head,
yes.
and I just film it real quick, and then I'm like, all right, I'll do a voiceover later.
Yes.
I put it on the back burner, and when I can do a voiceover, I'll sit with my mic. I have my mic set up, and I do a voiceover, and I talk as if I'm reviewing it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm telling you, bro, we're talking like thousands of dollars a month, and it's like reoccurring. So like, I've only uploaded 5 videos this month in June, but usually I try to upload about 30 to 50.
Yes.
And I've got about 840 videos or something like that. Mm-hmm. But that's making me like thousands of dollars with an S per month. Like in those products, most of them I don't even have anymore because I've sent them out. But that video is making me money. It's in the top carousel of the videos. It's in the lower carousel.
Yes.
I don't have the product anymore, but I reviewed it. Go to my dad's house. I go all around his appliances. In-laws' house. I did all their appliances, all their stuff, couches, rugs, light switches, lamps, chandeliers.
What would you recommend as far as like the best category to do something like that in?
I've had the best luck with my dash cam.
Yes.
Makes me a ton of money. My number one seller that's made me the most money is ant traps.
Ant traps?
Yep.
Like Bugs Life type stuff.
Yeah. Home and garden. So it's not a big commission because the product itself, depending on the quantity you buy or for the listing, but if somebody could spend $6 to get a pack, or somebody could spend $30 to get 12 packs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But it just depends. And I think it's like 3.5% I'm getting commission on that. So 3.5% on $6 really isn't that much, right? But I sell, it's a high volume seller.
Yes.
So already this month we're on, what is it? Today's the 6th. Today is the 6th, 6 days into June. I've already sold almost 400 ant traps.
Wow.
We're only at the 6th. Usually I sell over 1,000 a month.
Shit, you bugging, bro.
It's crazy. We're talking like, at 1,000. I think last month I sold a little over 1,000 and my commission was like $400 something. Because you got the single traps and then you got those double traps too. So you make it 3% on 6, but you could be making 3% on 30.
So you can sit there and line up and say, I have 15 items.
Listen to me, the Taro ant traps.
Yes.
I did that video. It was the 3rd video I ever did for the influencer program over a year ago. And to this now, it's still making me money.
Wow.
That one product, $100 a month that I did a year ago, still making me money. So it's just, I encourage, and when I have Amazon sellers here, I'm like, we have access. You buying Nike sneakers, Nike t-shirts, anything. Mm-hmm. If you don't have time to do the review, you don't do it right then and there. Just do a quick little B-roll, a minute or two, right? Just 1 to 2 minutes, at least a minute minimum.
Yes.
Okay? And then go back to it later. I'm telling you, bro, it's just another income with products you're already touching.
I might end up doing that, man.
You got to do it.
I'm definitely might end up doing that, man. That's definitely right up my alley. So,
what do you like doing FBA more than merchant fulfilled?
Yeah, because my whole thing is I think like this here. A business is a real business if it can give you freedom. So I mean, you can make 300, 400, 1.2, but if you don't have the time to do what you really want in life, as far as like your children, your family, go out and on vacation, it's not really a real business. So like FBA, I see that gives you like real freedom if you manage it the right way.
But do you feel like you're an Amazon employee? Because when I would do and deal with their fees and everything, I felt like I was working for Amazon, and I was straight up FBA.
Yeah.
I just felt like an Amazon employee because Amazon kept coming on the listing. I had to strategize it on Amazon. I got to figure out a way how to get rid of this fee, that fee. You know what I mean? I just felt like I feel like I'm working like a mule.
I mean, it's something that you have to be comfortable with, that Amazon literally is using sellers as product research.
Oh, 100%.
We are literally going out doing the dirty work for them.
Which is why they hop on those listings to begin with. But don't you think like there's some kind of like legality to, and again, I've mentioned this to other sellers, but I like to get everybody's perspective on it. You pay $40 to sell on Amazon.
Yes.
That is nothing compared to the amount of money you can make on that platform, right? But still, you're still paying a company to sell on their platform.
Yes.
To then have them maybe come on most of your listings, some of your listings, maybe none, but some of your listings, and totally demolish you, right? Like you're selling something for $25, Amazon comes on at $12.99.
Yes.
Like, what do you think? Like, there has to be some kind of legality where like I'm paying you to sell on your platform, but then you're gonna come on my listing, and now I'm paying you, and I have to compete with you, and I can't compete with you because you're Amazon, and you buy things by the tens of thousands. You ain't buying 3. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't understand how they can get away with that. Now, if I wasn't paying Amazon, if I wasn't paying Amazon at all, and I was selling on that platform, okay, whatever. But you're taking my money to say you can sell on our platform, but we're going to come on that listing too. And not only are you going to pay us $40, we're going to make sure you can't sell this product either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. That right there is a hard pill to swallow, and it is part of the Amazon business itself. But if you think about it, I'm not going to sit here and simp for Amazon, but it's a 24/7 mall, and they've done all the advertisement work for you. Mm-hmm. You don't have to like on Shopify. You don't have to pay for ads. You don't have to go on Reddit. You don't have to go on Pinterest or any of that sort, and just hope and pray that you might get a sale.
You might get a Google search.
Yeah, you don't have to do any of that. Amazon, you can literally go buy this Kirkland right out of Costco, drop it in there. You know that it moves 500 units a month, a BSR of 1%. Go for it. You know you're gonna make cash. If you're gonna make a 20% margin or 15% margin, doesn't matter. You're still gonna make cash. But they have the right to, because it's their mall, 24/7.
They take $40 a month.
Yeah.
They take 15% pick and pack.
Yes.
And then what else do they take? They take their
placement fees.
Placement fees. Shipping fee is a little subsidized, but not by much anymore.
So really, the only real way that I think that you can really defeat the beast is private label. Honestly, it is the best business model if you do it right. I'm trying to myself pivot into the private label space and trying to get out of the RA, OA type love. But private label is literally one of the only ways to get out. I mean, you're still paying fees, don't get me wrong, but at least you can keep Amazon off your listing.
Right. And at least you're only paying probably 25 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, whatever you're paying.
Yeah.
Don't go to Alibaba though.
Yeah.
Well, if you have to, all right, maybe.
Yeah,
but
definitely. Man. But the only issue is Amazon has been getting caught, and they have been hit by Congress by looking at people who are doing private label, finding their home run products and trying to copy and paste their same exact products.
Really?
At
even
a cheaper rate.
though they're trademark protected.
Yes. Yeah. Try to find. I saw something about somebody doing like a backpack, and it was a very, very unique backpack with certain vegan leather and all types of nonsense. And Amazon looked for the exact person, found their supplier, and tried to find and hired someone else to see if they can copy it. And they got hit. They got hit by Congress about saying you can't do that, man.
That's wild, man. So. Amazon, man. Amazon.
Publicly traded company, man.
Amazon. They have tisk.
Yeah.
Man, I could sit all day and talk about Amazon, man. But we're gonna have you back on the show another day too, man. I appreciate you coming by, man. Honest to God, man.
I appreciate it, man. Hopefully my tinfoil wasn't too tight today, man.
No. Listen. I'm telling you, this is a safe space. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, left or right, it doesn't matter. This is a safe place to speak whatever you want to speak about. So appreciate you being on the show, KEIZT.
Oh yeah.
Where can people find you on social media if they want to follow your journey?
On Twitter, I'm at Deductive Reason on Twitter. You can find me on IG on KEIZT, KEIZT. I'm trying to get bigger into the social media space. I like to stay like in my lane. But now I'm trying to get out there and network and whatnot. So that's how you really
absolutely
elevate.
I'll have all your stuff in the description below. All this information will be in the description below. Man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you again for showing everybody who's the boss today, man. I appreciate that.
Definitely you, man.
Guys, thanks for tuning in, man. Listen, KEIZT's in the building. Really glad he came by and stopped by. He was the boss today. Appreciate you being here. You guys know what to do, man. Like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one.